It is 6:22. I'd like to call the Committee of the Whole meeting for the Village of Cary for March 4th, 2025 to order with roll call, please.
Collier.
Here.
Dudek.
Here.
McAlpine. Here. Walrath.
Here.
Weinhammer.
Here.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We're now moving to the public comment, where the public is invited to make an issue or comment on a matter of public concern, not otherwise on the agenda. Thank you. Jim Tomasello.
Now or after further discussion of the trees?
Pardon me?
Do I talk about that now, or is this, I'm here for the discussion regarding the trees?
Yeah, well, you could talk about it at that time. I'll call you up. I'll give you an opportunity about that. Anybody else like to address the Committee of the Whole? We'll go and close open forum at 6:23. We have one matter on the agenda for discussion regarding private tree preservation requirements. I'm going to turn this over to our Public Works Director. Are you going to do it? You going to do it?
I'll do it.
You're going to do it?
Yep.
God, those 10 years are paying off.
It's private property stuff.
Oh, it's
development, yeah. So as the board may recall, earlier this year, we received some feedback regarding a property in the community that was removing several trees on a private property. Really just wanted to bring this matter back before the board for potential discussion if there's any desire to make amendments to our existing regulations. So I have a brief presentation that goes over kind of our current codes and then also some regulations of adjacent communities and what they do have. But happy to basically present the information for discussion purposes, and if there's a desire to continue to review this, we can certainly do so as well. So just a brief overview within the Village of Cary. There's basically two ways that we regulate trees within the village. There are regulations for trees on private property, which is under the Unified Development Ordinance and is generally administered by the Community Development Department. And then there's regulations for trees that are in public property, so parkways, municipal property, and streets, which are handled by the Public Works Department. Under our Unified Development Regulations, there are requirements for landscape and the preservation of trees and provide provisions for landscaping for properties. However, those regulations specifically apply to any new multifamily developments or non-residential development. So existing single-family homes would not be subject to those provisions. And any project that is expanding a building, either a enlargement of over 20% of their existing floor plan or 5,000 square feet, the Unified Development Ordinance would require new landscaping to be installed per our current regulations. And then once a plan is approved for a site, as part of that permitting process, they're required to maintain that, and the removal of any trees that would be on a property would require permits through the Community Development Department, and then there would be replacement of those trees if necessary. But then again, that code does not apply to single-family residences. Individuals currently, under our regulations, could remove a tree without needing a permit from the Village of Cary. On the public property side, likewise, those trees are all maintained by the village. If a homeowner or property owner were to remove a tree or seek to modify or trim a tree on the right-of-way, they would need a permit through the Public Works Department to do so, and that would be administered through their offices. The matter which kind of sparked this debate was related to a property in the Trout Valley subdivision. There is a homeowner of the property wanted to remove several trees around the property, over 30 trees that were impacting the existing ability for the property to have landscaping grow on the property. The amount of shade that it was producing did not allow for a stand of grass really to grow on the property. They're also planning to do other improvements to the site as far as removal and replacement of the driveway, which the existing trees which are close to the driveway would impact that proposed improvement. The homeowner did contact both the Trout Valley subdivision and the village prior to doing the removals. We indicated that there was no permit required from us for that work, and then the subdivision HOA did the same as well as far as what was proposed. So just for reference, the site in particular here is atypical of others within the village as far as its contours, as the size of the property. It was over 1.25 acres in size. Obviously, it was a densely wooded property, but the majority of parcels in the village are less than 1/2 acre in size, with the majority of them roughly 1/3 of an acre. So this subject area is unique from a standpoint of the amount of trees that was on it compared to other properties within the village. To review other communities that are in the area, we've looked at a few local municipalities. Each one, of course, treats trees differently as far as how what permits may be required or may not be required for single-family residences. In the top two cases, the village of Algonquin and the village of Lakewood, both do require permits for tree removals. In the case of Algonquin, if a tree has a diameter of more than 10 inches in size, which is a fairly substantial tree, as you can imagine, they would require a permit for that removal and require the replacement of a tree as well as part of that project. If a property is proposing to remove more than 4 trees in that municipality, they would require a tree survey to show the location and what the impact would be on remaining trees within the area. The village of Lakewood is another community that does require permits for the removal of trees. Any tree that is taller than 20 feet in size or larger than 6 inches in diameter, they do require a permit from the village for that on private property, and then they also do require a replacement tree to be provided as well. Conversely, the city of Crystal Lake and city of McHenry do, in certain circumstances, do require permits, but the properties that are exempted from requiring that would essentially be most of the single-family zone parcels within those communities. In Crystal Lake, the permit would not be required if a property is under 3 acres in size and zoned single-family. So permits are typically only required for the removal of trees on commercial property, multifamily developments, or commercial nursery would not be required a permit. In McHenry, similar, they have size requirements as well for single-family zone parcels. So if the parcel is over 2 acres in size, they would require a permit. In the subject case that was discussed this evening, the subject property would not have been subject if it were in McHenry to require a permit for doing that work. Also, all non-single-family zone parcels of greater than 1 acre in McHenry would need a permit for tree removals as well. So this information generally, again, just provide for reference. If there is a desire from the board to make regulations or modifications to our existing regulations, we're happy to have it for discussion. More just to see if there's a desire to have additional discussion on it and potential, if so, to adopt new regulations. We can certainly draft regulations to bring back for the board for future consideration. But I'll be happy to answer any questions the board may have or provide additional commentary for discussion as well.
Yeah, let's have,
Sure.
yeah, let's have
Mr.
landscaper
Thomas
come
Ellis,
up.
want to come up? And then I want to go back to that one slide of Trout Valley, when they're talking about those pictures too. Yes.
My name's Jim Thomasell. I'm a resident and a contractor in town here. I think a lot of you know who I am. I don't think government needs to get involved in removing trees on single-family homes, private properties. You know, it causes a lot of stress and problems for homeowners having to get permits and for us contractors getting permits on things to do with cost and timely manners of getting stuff done. You know, a lot of times we're out removing trees or doing maintenance on trees, trimming trees, and we find a potential problem of a weak limb in a tree or something, or splitting down the center that you can't really see from up there, and we need to get the tree down. And we explained to the customers at that time, you know, this tree needs to be removed. We need to do it now. You leave that tree up, you come in for a permit, you're waiting for the time to come through and stuff. That tree could potentially fall on somebody's house at that time, and then we have other problems here. Like, this isn't something that your arborist is gonna run right out and look at. I don't even know if the city has a full-time arborist on staff here or not, or who's gonna be in charge of saying, yes, that tree needs to come down, no, that tree doesn't. I mean, there's more problems than just looking at dead trees or damaged trees or trees that break off during storm damage. I mean, a branch gets broke during the storm and the rest of it's still standing there, but you guys can't really see the potential that needs to come down or not if it's gonna fall on someone's house. Also, raising costs of this is gonna be a fluctuation between if somebody wants to pay to take a tree down that could possibly fall on their house or their neighbor's house because of the cost of it. You know, it's gonna rise everything up and do it. I don't think government needs to be involved in tree removal in people's houses. Just because someone wants to make their house or their property look better or clean up or clean undergrowth out. I mean, a tree is a tree to a lot of people. A lot of people don't know the difference between what a good tree is or a bad tree, if it's a box elder or if it's an oak tree. Like, yeah, like these people removed a bunch of trees in their house. They made it a lot better, getting rid of all the undesirable and invasive trees that we don't want. And, you know, a tree hugger is mad that they've cut them down. Sometimes it just has to be done because there's more benefits in removing a tree. That's why we have forestry programs for removing trees. Cut them down, let the new ones live. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Any comments by the committee?
Sure, I'll go. I agree. I don't think we should regulate private property with trees. It's just my opinion.
I agree with everything that you said. And I do think it opens us up for a situation where then you could have, if you have a neighbor that you don't get along with and they're mad and they say, get in there and chop down that tree, and you're saying, well, I don't want to do that. It's going to cost me $700 to get it down. I think that's one of the advantages of home ownership, for you to get to decide how you want to handle your property. So I agree with you.
I will comment to, and just to say, if there's a tree that is damaged or that is causing a potential harm for an adjacent property, we can, from a property maintenance standpoint, address those types of issues as well. This is more if, and just from a standpoint, if there's a dangerous tree or something that has a limb that's broken, that's overhanging a house, we do have the ability to compel somebody to make an improvement to their property to remove that dangerous condition.
Public safety.
Yeah, I have no stomach for this level of involvement of the municipality on private property. We have enough ordinances to cover safety issues. There's only a handful of buildable, and I don't want to speak out of turn, but there's only a handful of buildable lots left in Cary at the moment. So, you know, the fact that all the single-family homes are already not falling under a lot of these, I think it would be an excessive use of what we're trying to gain, that we still have, as Director Simmons, the mayor, were just mentioning, we still have the ability to work with dangerous situations if need be. But to do so out of just a desire not to cut down trees, I don't think that's within our purview of what we should be doing.
I agree wholeheartedly. It was well said. There's a lot of properties in town that need some help. When this was presented to us, you know, we didn't. Nobody had seen what was going on. But when you do the inventory of the trees, and we do have 2 arborists on staff, that when they look at these things, you want to get rid of the overgrowth and you want to get rid of the unhealthy trees. It's a safety issue, and it's private property. They have the right to do what they want to do on their property. And I wholeheartedly think that individual property owners have that right to make that decision. If they want to take down all the trees on their yard, that's their business. But I don't really see a need to get involved in this at all. It's not really what we should be doing. There's plenty of other things that we need to be working on. So that said, does anybody want to take this any further? Okay, thank you. Appreciate your comments. I will entertain a motion to adjourn into executive session to discuss litigation pending or imminent, 5 Illinois CS 120/2C11.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And we will adjourn the public meeting at the end of executive session. So this ends the portion of the public meeting. It is 6:36.